would have been actually 7.5 years ago. My mom, who I'm very, very close with, was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, which is a very rare aggressive cancer. Yeah. And so she went through, it was about a year of like chemotherapy and radiation and all the non-fun things. And she was 50 at the time. And all of her treatment actually brought on early menopause. And with the menopause, she actually ended up having pelvic floor dysfunction. Simultaneously, I was very active, like teaching classes, and if I did like a jumping jack or if I yelled too loud, I would end up peeing my own pants. And so I found myself wearing like dark colored pants, and I was in my 20s, and it just didn't seem right.
Yeah, no, that's not okay.
No, and it was embarrassing. And I wanted to wear like the cool light colored pants and all the different tights. So many things were happening at the same time. My mom was like rushing to the bathroom all the time because she was going to pee her pants. And then I was also like wearing black pants. And then my passion with pre and postnatal health, which it's like very much about the pelvic floor. So all of these things were just taking me down the path to create some sort of like method or some sort of way to heal the pelvic floor to help all of us women.
Right. Now, okay. So a couple things I really have to say. Number one is I love stories. I love people's stories, and none of us get to where we are by accident. And I particularly, what resonates with me is stories where, there's a very grim or a very bleak outlook. And to take that and do something that is so powerfully positive, that has the potential to have such tremendous impact on so many people. I mad respect for you for that, because, some people would have just crumbled under that and just, that would have been it, but your desire to come up with something good and helpful is massive. It's just massive. So I think that you deserve tremendous respect and applause for that. And also the fact that you made something so very specific, because I think there's so much general talk about our health, like, eat right, lose weight, whether you're male, whether you're female, whatever. It's just when we get into these, I find a lot of times so many of the discussions and platforms or discussions on platforms out there about health are just so big. That's where people get lost. It's where they lose their motivation, they lose their inspiration, because they're looking at it and going, well, I don't even know where to start, and it's just too much to start with. And you have actually designed something that is so incredibly specific, yet has such a massive spiderweb reach, which we're going to talk about, because we're talking about the pelvic floor and pelvic floor health. So very specific. It gives women something very, very specific to work on and address, but with an impact that hits and targets so many other areas of the body.
Absolutely.
Getting specific. So when, like you talk who's your target? Clearly it's women, but do we have to be sick and old?
No, you don't. So all of my marketing, I've catered the program towards women 40 plus.
Yes.
And generally postpartum, like after baby.
Yes.
But I'm 27 years old. I've been going through this for many years, and I've never had a child before. So it truly does have like everyone has a pelvic floor, and everyone can suffer from pelvic floor dysfunction and urinary incontinence. So it has a huge reach.
What can women gain? What do they have to gain by making their pelvic floor health a priority and part of like their regular, we'll call it the regular physical like maintenance?
Absolutely. First off, like a strong core and a strong pelvic floor, it's going to help improve your balance, as I mentioned, your posture, your breathing. So when you're breathing properly, it's going to lower your stress, your anxiety, your depression. It's also going to like help ease any pain in your back, pain in your hips, pain in your pelvic floor. It's also like it's going to improve your sex life.
Okay, did you hear that? I hear everybody's clicking. They're clicking madly right now.
I hope so. Yeah. And it can also improve, like with your sex life, not only can it literally tone your vaginal walls, it's also going to improve your confidence, and it's going to make you feel sexy. So that alone is worth everything.
Exactly. Because I don't, again, going back to what's common and normal, I don't think it should be common. And I don't think it is normal that women, avoid things like the gym or social events or whatever, or that they have to go with a change of clothes. That's not normal. It shouldn't have to be that way. Yeah, it shouldn't have to be that way. I mean, we should be allowed to wear the crazy funky leggings at the gym that, not always just the black ones, because in case I have an accident, at least no one's going to see. Well, that's not normal, and it doesn't need to be common. Ladies, this does not need to be common. You can do something about this. So when it comes to doing something about this, we talked about what they have to gain. So by not doing something, by just accepting the common normal, what's the outlook for that? For women that just, this is just how it is. What do they have to lose by not actually making pelvic floor health a priority?
Well, back pain, like I personally, back pain was like a huge thing in my life. Like I'd have pain travel up and down my spine, depending on the day or depending on how my body felt. But as soon as I got my breath and my pelvic floor really connected, like no more pain. So yeah, you can definitely suffer from back pain, hip pain, kind of the opposites of what I mentioned of the benefits.
Right.
Also pelvic organ prolapse, which is when your pelvic floor, in the simplest way to explain it is when your pelvic floor is not strong enough to actually hold your organs, and so you're bend down into your vagina, and it can almost feel like you have like a tampon inside, or feels
uncomfortable,
super uncomfortable. So how can you live your life and feel good about yourself, and deepen your relationships when you're so focused on things going on in your body?
Exactly. No, all good points. And you mentioned, posture and breath work in how that's all connected, and how this sheath of muscle is connected to the bones and the spine and everything. And I do want to say again to the listeners, it's all part of this. I do believe there's a shift happening in how we think about our health. I think people still want to look good and want to look good in their clothes and have a healthy weight. And I'm all for that. But I do really see in the launch of I just see a change, a shift in mindset that people are finally really getting it, that things like your breathing, your posture, mobility are so important in really great optimal health, because we live in an era where we can keep people alive for a very, very long time, but it doesn't always mean that they're alive in optimal health. We can keep people alive longer. I just don't know if we're doing it healthier and better. And so, there are these things we can be doing that aren't, pelvic floor strong does not involve, do I need a set of dumbbells? Do I need a powerlifting rack? Do I have to lock the door and get, fancy running gear and go running? Or is this something very simple that I can do anywhere without equipment?
You can do it absolutely anywhere. And that's kind of what's nice about it is if you don't want to share, if you're not comfortable sharing this with the world, you can do it in your bathroom. No one, you don't need a lot of space. It's just you, your body, no workout clothes.
Right.
Unless you want to wear them, but you don't have to.
Yeah. and mass, again, it's just it's that everything's connected, that domino effect. But you don't need, because again, I think it can be such, somebody that has maybe not made the best choices. Their lifestyle is not that great, but they want, because I really do believe that most people want to be healthy and want to feel good. I really do believe that. But I think it could just become a very daunting, overwhelming idea to some, because it's where do I start? Now I got to start eating right. And then I got to do the cardio, and I got to do the strength, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. But I will say this, and I've been in health and fitness for almost 30 years, starting with something like pelvic floor strong that involves posture, breathing, no equipment, starts working on the inside and strengthening things to a point that you are going to start feeling good very, very quickly. And that can only serve as a massive motivation to do more.
Absolutely. I'm a fitness professional, and I also find the health and fitness industry is so overwhelming. So this is a really great starting place for everyone.
Right. So
Yeah.
without giving away, because I don't want you giving anything away, because people, you need to click that link and get this for yourself. You need to get it for, I mean, Christmas is coming. You need to get it for your mothers, your sisters, your daughters, your aunts. Every woman needs this. Everyone, you can all have coffee in a couple weeks and talk about how wonderful it is, but everybody needs it. So without giving it away, just talk a little bit about what you can tell us about the program, like what we can expect. When I click that link and I get my product, what can I expect?
Absolutely. So the main product of Pelvic Floor Strong is actually an informational video. So in the informational video, I give you different concepts and strategies, and I actually educate you on what we're doing first. After that, in the video, I actually show you which stretches and exercises that you can do that are going to like connect your posture, your breath, and your pelvic floor really nicely. They're all about like mobilizing your body and like waking up the weak areas. And like it's a full body program, even though it's specifically targeting your core and your pelvic. So with the video, it's also an ebook of the exact same information, a flat belly fast. It's a 10-minute abdominal exercise program, and then an ebook version of the exact same routine.
Excellent. Okay. So, I mean, it doesn't get much simpler than that. And again, you've created the product to target a specific area, very specific. And yet in doing it, there's so much more benefit to so many other areas of the body. So it's like this, but it compounds, like it compounds, and it has greater impact and greater result.